Hello Marvel Heroes fans, my name is Wilfred and welcome to my channel where you can see videos and guides on this free-to-play game called Marvel Heroes Omega. If you like this sort of guide, do check out the link at the description below. I've organized all the latest guides for you to watch. Now, this is a part 1 of the Black Bolt series because to play Black Bolt, you can play him as melee or ranged. So in this video, I'm going to give some overview on these particular heroes, and also I'm going to deep dive into the talent, power and trait in case you like to build him the way that I do. And after that, I'll do some cosmic terminals for both video, the range option as well as melee. This is a melee version, which I think it is more of the main build for mine, because I feel that the melee build is stronger, much stronger, which I think it is rightly so, because it's what, it's melee. Range is just kind of like a little bit off the the scale a little bit, so I just use it for kind of fun build, but the melee is my main build. Now recently I've been reading quite a fair bit on the Inhuman comic book series, because I think if you play this game, you should and must be a Marvel fan in some sense. So I'm sort of like a little bit puzzled about the Medusa kind of hair, because if you look at the comic book, when I look at the back of Medusa, I said, whoa, she looked really attractive. But then in Marvel Heroes Omega, the Medusa is just like the huge giant wig. So for those who are in console, not having the team up in your kind of like game, nothing really a lot to lose anyway. I mean, sometimes they don't do it quite well. I mean, I'm quite interested to see how there's a game, the mobile game called, I think, Marvel Future Fight or something like that, how they actually paint the character, because I think that game has a better consistency in recreating the heroes as per your, how the comic book and so on. But that's just my view. What do you think about the Medusa team up anyhow? It's hard to not talk about Medusa when you talk about Black Bolt. Really, they are a pair. They're like the king and the queen. So I kind of like them together, playing together. Okay. Now, if you follow my channel, you probably know that sometimes I feel excited talking about hero during a guide, like the Carnage one, check that out. But sometimes I feel a little bit like, not that excited, and I'm just highlighting some of the areas of for improvement. Now, the reason why I do that in a guide is that you should actually, if you are thinking of unlocking or not unlocking Black Bolt, and you come to my channel to check it out, this part of the video is for you, because sometimes you may have some concern that is same as mine. But however, having said that, I mean, if you really like the hero, and if the build that doesn't really work out for you, but still you like to play him, I mean, that is fine, right? Because you're a Black Bolt fan. So I'm criticizing the hero design, but not criticizing the game in general, and to highlight some of these like shortfalls, so that you can actually pay attention to some of these things that may not be too ideal for Black Bolt. Now, my only complaints, there are two major complaints for Black Bolt for me. The very first one is that if I play a melee mode, I have a power that give me like I think all this like very beautiful thing, but I can't really see anything inside. And all the rest of power, I don't really see anything really. I mean, I see him hitting something, but most of the time I can't really see what is he hitting. Overlaid with that thing, confluence, and as well as all other hero power. If I play melee, most of the time I do not see what he is like. I just play blindly. I just match cooldown. So he's a very intensive cooldown hero. There aren't really a lot of things to think about even. The cooldown just whenever it's off cooldown, pop it. Whenever it's off cooldown, pop it. Unlike the range build though, range build actually has a little bit of mechanism whereby there's some timing that you can do for your power. But for melee, just like that. And another thing that I have a little bit complaint about is he's a movement hero. So just to recap that a little bit. If you play him as melee, you play him as a movement. Everything, most of the power in your toolkit being tagged as movement. So in a way, it's meant to be good. But unfortunately, because of the archetype, his fighting energy is not speed. So if you look at a lot of gear, a lot of like artifacts, the movement artifacts that you could immediately relate to, usually they are not the archetype of fighting energy. It's a shame, because one of my biggest complaint for the biggest update ever is that with this archetype, a lot of artifacts are being pigeonholed into various places. Like for example, if you take a look at the if you look at the Black Bolt, Black Cat, grappling hook, movement power, you immediately think about, yeah, that is the one, because that is a movement back in the old day before the biggest update ever. But after the biggest update ever, it's like, well, yeah, sure, the rest of it is good, but then +3 speed. My hero is not a +3 speed hero, and that could have been much better on another heroes, and all these items has a budget to it. So this is a boss kind of like a tier kind of artifact. But if you can't use up all of these affixes, you are actually relegating this into a average kind of artifact. You can still use it, but it's just not as exciting as really doing it in the right type. Another thing is that like the Rhino horn as well, it could have been quite a nice, decent kind of like thing, because if you're moving, you gain attribute. We are standing still, you are what? Because if you think about it, hero like Black Bolt, quite a fair bit of movement, quite a fair bit of stationary as well. But that could have been some artifact that I could immediately relate to. But oops, my art type doesn't match. So these are only two complaints I have. Other than that, I don't think he's as strong as some of the newer heroes like Carnage. I'm geared really similarly between various kind of the heroes are using the same level gear. So I still think that he's a little bit underwhelming in terms of power output perspective. You could of course make it work if you really put a lot of effort into gearing, but then I could have set the same to Carnage as well, who's like really outperformed Black Bolt even with a similar kind of gear. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of other sort of complaint or whatnot. He's kind of fun in a sense. It's quite a lot of movement. His movement is smoother than say Carnage. Carnage has quite a fair bit of movement as well. But Black Bolt is kind of nice, and if you think about it, Black Bolt is the king of the Inhuman, very iconic. So I think some of you probably unlock him because you are a fan. So need I say anymore? Next bit of the video is more on the power talent entry. So if you take a look at Black Bolt's power, trait, and talent design, I always start with the art type first because that governs everything that you start with. All these traits is important to understand. So your crit hit is plus 15%, which is crit hit damage is plus 15%, which is kind of nice because he could potentially does energy and or kind of physical as well. He's a fighting energy hero, like I mentioned before. Here's something called charge. They will some power generate charges, some power spend it. If it's out of the combat, then you drain it. So it's overall just a mechanism. There's not really a lot to go for. For the melee build, you'll probably be constantly at the max of the kind of like charges anyway. So there's nothing really to pay attention to. Just understand that there are some buff when your charges are at full, and you should aim to have that once in a while. He's a flat defense hero, so it's kind of durable as well. So nothing too much to talk about. But that is also another thing is the melee power. When you hit with melee power, you get another 8% reduction, which is much leaner because I think my Black Bolt is just about 38% before the melee power damage reduction kicks in. So even so, added into it, it's still under it's not really that fantastic. So something to watch out for. Black Bolt is not like your tank and spam hero. You need to be agile, move a bit here and there. First tier, I would like to recommend Speed the Sky. Apply the Cosmic Confluence. It's the one that you see the whole thing there, because Confluence is the one that you can charge the power when you stand on it. So like for example, you can smash it in and you stay here, you actually get charged up. This whole charges will then kind of increase. Now this is important because later on in the last tier, I would say that if the charges is full, then my total damage is plus 25%. Attack speed is faster, charge cost reduction is more, and I'm being buffed 5 seconds out of the 20-second cooldown window. Now it's not really a full cooldown, so you do not require to keep your charges at max, but at least keep it at max when it fall off a cooldown, which is 12 seconds. So having said that, I think it's not really manageable in terms of you can't really time it that accurately. So by and large, you may proc it every 15 seconds for 5-second buffer. Still quite good because it's quite a big difference. But just a little bit like, the burst is not quite there. You have to build up your charges until you hit the awesomeness. And then you have 5 seconds of awesomeness and then another, 10 seconds of not so awesome. Just the hero design. Some heroes are pretty nice in burst. I don't think Black Bolt is one of them, at least for the melee movement build. Second one is that I gain more charges for my Inhuman speed. The Inhuman speed buff the maximum charges by another 2. Also opening move become like damage over time, which is nice. And the and opening move is the one that that will go for, I believe, something like that. Alright, so this is opening move. It doesn't really have a lot of animation. That's the main sort of like complaint I have in the Black Bolt. I can't really see a lot of things happening, especially if you have confluence and then opening move, you can't really see opening move. But it's important because it applies the damage over time and also it generates the charges as well. So it's nice. All these are 6-second window. Another one that I would like to recommend is the Swooping Strike, which is very much like many other heroes out there that hit multiple targets, and it's like the one that swooping strike is this one here, invulnerable during this. I mean, I think Deadpool has it, I think Black Cat has it, Angela has it, almost every other hero you can think of it will have power like that will enable you to be invulnerable while dealing damage, and also it doesn't jump the target, so you have to be around the area to do this like a swooping strike, so something like that, right? So it's like Daredevil has it as well. Every other hero has it. At the end, everything converges to be the same thing. So that was a Swooping Strike, and also the next bit is the Master Blow become a signature. Now, if I don't pick this one, Killing Word become a signature, but Killing Word is a range power. So just bear that in mind. So Master Blow is the one that actually will close off the distance and then punch onto it. Always a brutal, and it's an execute function to it, so the lesser the health of the boss, the better it is. Again, it's not really for burst like other signature, but it's towards the tail end of the battle, it becomes more awesome. But the good thing about it is that it does close off the distance as well. I mean, this is the thing that it go in and charge. But not complaint, my feedback is that it doesn't really, I mean, all this become the same thing, whether it's opening move or Master Blow, is the same animation. It just charge on it, one punch, right? So the other one just had a little bit more effect to it. So that's why I say I don't really get the whole animation thing here. All right, so now that really conclude the entire trait and talent. So it's nothing really special about it. And now with that said, let's just recap what we've got. All right, now main power is a close combat, which is a basic melee power. The reason why I use that is to generate the charges. That is already. I don't think there's any other option out there for you to do anyway. So you have got to use a basic power to just keep punching. You have seen the Split the Sky that applied the Cosmo Confluence, which is yet another thing that you see that you've seen the opening move. You can actually use it to leap from target to target, so if you wish to. Swooping Strike is the one that hit a number of target, not really wide, but it's still there. Then after that, the Renegade Mandate is the one that also, hang on a second, I haven't really talked about this one. This one is also a punch, I believe, which is the one that you can actually do it like that. Yeah, so it close off distance and punch. So there's quite a few power that close off and punch. So the difference between the opening move and the Regal Mandate is that one is punch one time, one is punch a few times, and the signature, which is the Master Blow, is a punch and with the effect. So basically, 3 power look exactly the same. The last option, what would you be using? You have a few options here, depending on your play style and what you like. Now, you could actually use a Quanxi Sonic Barrier if you'd like to give your Black Bolt a little bit of protection. If you feel that your Black Bolt is kind of fragile, every 12 seconds or so you can pop that absorb 2,511. Now, it's not really a lot, 2,511, not even a mech kit. So up to you. If you find that this is useful, you can use it. Another option, of course, you can drop another like Quanxi Sonic Geisha, which is yet another power that give you kind of like a lot of effect and so on and so forth. Quite a decent kind of like a damage over time, which is 6,169 with my gear. The reason why I picked the Killing Word, and it's a range power, by the way. I have a very strong reason why I do that. And that is to do with a fan, in myself on Black Bolt, because Black Bolt doesn't talk. The only time that he mutter a word is when he does his Killing Word, I believe. So it is something special when I click that. But other than that, I mean, it is also a irresistible stun. You can actually use it like if you are fighting Rhino, if you want to save your Medusa for one charge every 20 seconds or so, you can actually pop that during the during those animation for the Rhino, for Juggernaut and whatnot in MM. Also quite interesting because the radius is really huge. Well, it's kind of realistic anyway. It's kind of like the wave go in front, not at back, so your facing is important. But I mean, this sort of thing is like, you know, fantastic. I mean, you know, it just got to have a power to use. But I suspect if you really want to squeeze out the last ounce of DPS, probably a quasi-sonic geisha is the way that you can layer on things every 6 seconds or so. So you can align the geisha with the split the sky and the opening move, because everything is just around 6 seconds or so. Same as the shield as well. If you want to go for quasi-sonic barrier, you do the same as well. So these are the things that you could actually think about. From a gearing perspective, Omega gear not out yet, but I can sort of like, you know, imagine that you just pick things that are relevant to your build. In some sense, do check the tag that you have in your heroes. I think majority of them is melee, a bit of a melee. You can't really rely on this range to proc the melee range, kind of like stuff, gear or whatnot. But you know, you do have a bit of like, you know, some of them is physical, some of them is energy as well. So yeah, I mean, you know, I wouldn't say this is a hybrid build in some sense, but in a sense, well, it's sort of like a quasi hybrid, because if you do this guy here, you know, both this one is a physical, but you also have energy on top of it. So it is you could actually go for a hybrid as well, if so you wish to, for your melee Black Bolt from a gearing perspective. Next bit, I'm going to bring him into the Cosmic Terminal, showcase to you how he plays like. So this is Cosmic, the Daily Bugle with Black Bolt, mainly play 2.0 gear, very average gear, but it's just to demonstrate how it plays like, not for kill time. I'm using Medusa as the team up here because, come on man, this is the king and the queen, although really the hair. So that is one thing. So I just need to sort of like, you know, you can just like that and everything dies. Nice effect though. That's the only effect that is like, you know, really nice for this build, unfortunately. So you can do a killing word, and then you can do a punch as well. You see, you can see that you can punch a few things along the line. So swooping strike, nothing really. I mean, it's just like mash cooldown for Black Bolt. Just remember which one are the one that you could actually zoom in and which one is not. But that's about it. So that is the one here. You could take care of this group, and that's it. Body counts here, 50 of them. Yeah, well, okay, maybe I shouldn't. Oh man, this is very hard to fly over. It's like a swooping strike. I'm saving my signature on the. Ooh, wow, that was. I'm trying to save my signatures for the lizard. Okay, let's go. I mean, the problem is that, as you can see, I can't really see anything about boss mechanic and whatnot. You just kind of like, at the end, just eat up everything. Because whatever you can't see, you can't really do anything about it. Alright, cool. What in the world? What in the world is this thing, man? This is like a... very interesting. So I just need to finish the terminal. I can skip all the other mobs along the way. Maybe that's what I should do after a while. So octopus and the 1, 2, wow. I don't know whether I've hit it right or not. I can't see anything, man. Look, I mean seriously, I don't really see anything. Okay, that I can see. You can use the sound of power, you can close distance. Just remember which one is the one that you can close distance, and try not to close it while. And I can do a killing word. Right, so and the signature. Yeah, ooh, I've got like a catalyst. Could be useful for me. Ah, man, this always got, you see, I'm stuck here. Gazillion. Anyhow, alright, so this is Venom. I can't move out. Killing word there was. Wow, this thing is swooping strike. Ooh, this spider is really getting annoying. I can't see anything. Okay, so that is done. Another checklist. Okay, I'll try to see whether there are any good gear or not in just a bit. So today is not a very good day. Yesterday I had quite a bit of like artifacts. So I have a conspiracy theory. If you don't play your hero, like this particular hero, for quite some time, usually when you start the day, playing, you get a lot of very good loot, and but after that you get nothing much. What I do usually, I'll just switch to another heroes and try to see whether there's some good loot or not. But that's just how I play. I think there's a cooldown on loot. I mean, I've been observing this game since 2013. It's always like that. If you haven't played that hero for quite some time, then suddenly you have a lot of very, very good loot. Man, this is like very, very annoying. I can't see anything. The problem is I just... Alright, cool. I can't see anything. The effect is just too much. Craven. Ah man, I better take care of this group as well. How about killing word for you? What? Well, it's not really that strong, huh? I mean, the black bow that I know should actually eliminate with killing words. I think it should at least, right? You know, when you use killing word, you should at least eliminate all the non-elites, man. Seriously, or non-bosses. There's no excuse. This is Black Bolt, who never ever. Okay, how about this? Face this way. Who never ever lose a battle in his at least in the comic book. But that's what they say. But at least he's supposed to be very, very strong. He's like a without flaw. Alright, cool. A box. Okay, let me see. Okay, his ultimate I'll demonstrate in just a bit, and you'll see what he does or does not do. Right. Wow, this game, right? Sometimes really I dashed out, as you can see, I'm still taking damage. It's just that stuff like this make it not really pleasant, I think. So yep, it's done. So I've got the Wurun, I've got the unique, and I've got the, let's see what I have got. Nope, nothing really sure about. I've got some of this like, no. Well, this one I could use. Actually, this is not bad. For, yeah, this is not too bad actually. So I could actually use this one. Okay, so I hope you've got an idea of how it plays like as a melee. I mean, melee is a lot more exciting for sure. Just because the way that you can move around, and you can just at least like 3 powers, you can just jump to the right target. Well, 4 power actually. Majority of them you can just jump around. It has a decent amount of like crowd control, a bit of thinking, a bit of phasing here and there. So it's a very simple hero to play. Nothing really to add on to it really. The next video I'm going to make on Black Bolt is on his like a range build. But like I said, the range is more for the fun build, because I don't think the range build is as effective as the as melee. Just compare apple to apple here. Alright, so I'll see you next time. Have fun with Black Bolt. Like I said before, if you like this sort of video, check out the link below. There are more guys for you to watch. Bye.